Today we have shortlisted and combined the most value-packed parts of one of the best interviews of Vitalik Buterin which I have seen so far. I believe that we must understand the underlying value that a blockchain platform or a company creates for society or targeted market segments before we invest in its digital assets or stocks, and also we should only invest what we can afford to lose. In this interview, Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin first sheds light on the future of blockchain technology, and later on he covers the key aspects of Ethereum which in his opinion will make Ethereum one of the key platforms that will transform the finance sector. Later on he also mentions Bitcoin and its limitations which are acting as hurdles in its adoption in the DeFi space. Later on he mentions some key facts such as the role of Ethereum in the DeFi space, the reasons behind the failure of Facebook's Libra coin, and he also highlights the reasons which make him think that US dollar is going to stay and Bitcoin won't replace the US dollar. In the end, he highlights the diversity in the Ethereum community. So without any further delays, let's jump right into the key parts of the interview. If you want to watch the full 24 minutes long interview, I will leave a link in the description in the credits section. So let's go ahead and listen to Vitalik Buterin.
Whether Bitcoin, Ethereum, or the blockchain really are changing the world seems to be an ongoing debate. Is crypto the future, or is it a fad?
I think it's the future that contains fads.
Right now it is mostly finance apps that are built on Ethereum, aside from NFTs, and I'm wondering, what is the killer app for Ethereum that could lead to widespread adoption, much like email was for the internet?
I think there's a few candidates. DeFi is obviously one of them. I think the blockchain-based financial things have always been attractive because the traditional financial system just sucks more than traditional centralized tech, right? If I send an email to, someone in Guatemala, then they're going to receive it in 1 second. With finance, you can't even say that. A lot of people and companies, even today, just use cryptocurrency to send money internationally. Outside of finance, think one interesting area where I think blockchains might go. You notice that in order to access your assets in Ethereum, you need to have an account. We're getting to the point where there's a lot of work that's been done on making these accounts very secure. And so instead of just being accounts that hold money, these turn into fully blown profiles, right? And once you have profiles, then you can start doing decentralized social media on top of that. The social and financial things that you can do with that, even working together, is something that I think could be really big.
Now, whether Bitcoin, Ethereum, or the blockchain really are changing the world seems to be an ongoing debate. Is crypto the future, or is it a fad?
I think it's the future that contains fads, much like the internet was the future and the internet contained fads. There's definitely specific kinds of applications that do get overhyped from time to time, like ICOs back in 2017, and then certain kinds of DeFi right now. But at the same time, there's other DeFi projects that really are valuable. There's a combination of both, right? And figuring out which is maybe it's something that's difficult to see ahead of time, and it's something that we as an ecosystem are going to find out.
So the crypto skeptics, many people that are admired in the financial world, Jamie Dimon, Warren Buffett, are they just wrong?
A lot of them have definitely been just wrong already, right? They expected even back in 2013 to 15, at least some of them, to see blockchains and cryptocurrency fail and go down to zero in price and just not get any more interest completely. And even today, they've already been far more successful than any of them expected. So I can see how people in traditional finance, or at least some of them, can be inclined to kind of not see the value of blockchain-based finance immediately. There's a lot of people, even in traditional banks, that see the value that blockchains provide and have been trying to come up with things and work with them.
Jack Dorsey recently announced Square is creating a new business focused on decentralized financial services based on Bitcoin, using Bitcoin. What have you learned about Jack Dorsey's plans? Does it seem like he's building something that sounds a lot like Ethereum?
I'm skeptical about these decentralized finance on top of Bitcoin type of projects. Basically because like the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? This is that on Ethereum, there's like native functionality that allows you to essentially directly put either ETH or Ethereum based assets into these smart contracts, into these lockboxes, where there's then like arbitrary conditions of any kind that can then govern how those assets get released. Bitcoin does not have that functionality to the same extent. Like Jack is basically going to have to essentially create his own system that enforces those rules. And then on the Bitcoin layer, the Bitcoins will just have to be owned by probably a multi-sig wallet controlled by like either Jack or the participants in the system. It looks similar, but it'll end up being something with a much weaker trust model. Right? Like, I really think that, like, this is the whole reason why Ethereum started as an independent system in the first place, right? Like, there's technical limits to your ability to kind of graft new functionality onto a system that's not powerful enough to support that new functionality.
Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg is also making some big moves behind the metaverse. And what do you make of them wading into this decentralized world? Could they replicate some of the same problems that we see in Facebook and Twitter today?
I think Mark is clearly trying to figure out what the next stage after the internet is and like actually get into it and create it. But before the rest of the world goes in some different direction, and Facebook is sort of left in the dust and becomes one of these kind of previous generation old world companies. So we've seen Facebook try to get into the crypto space with Libra, though. I mean, I think in the end, like Libra did end up being possibly the wrong approach, because like the problem that someone like Facebook has, right, is that a lot of people mistrust them. And so building their own platform, like I know they tried really hard to create something that's a consortium with all these different industry participants, but at the same, like even that was not enough, right? And there's just a huge amount of mistrust of them. But with the metaverse, I guess the thing that happened during the pandemic is that we've basically very quickly switched from a world where the physical world was people's kind of primary center of experience, and the internet was this new add-on, to a world where the internet really is the center of people's experiences. And so we basically are spending most of our time in a virtual world. And the question is just like, what level of quality does that virtual world have?
So Ethereum in 5 years and 10 years, where is it?
I mean, hopefully running the metaverse, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
You've got a lot of people out there, a lot of people who are trying to understand cryptocurrency, who are placing their bets. What's your prediction for Bitcoin? Does it replace the dollar? Does it exist in 50 years, or is it something else? And then similarly, what's your prediction for Ethereum? Because a lot of investors are choosing to hold both, or one or the other.
Yeah, I think replacing the dollar completely is unlikely, just because like there's things that the dollar provides, like price stability, for example, that Bitcoin is not going to provide. Like I think even in a theoretical world where the US dollar collapses, like even then, I think Bitcoin is not going to be able to provide the level of stability that users and businesses expect to be able to set prices in. And in that kind of world, look, we would need something else. Like it could be decentralized stable coins, it could be something else, but we'll see. But at the same time, I think cryptocurrency can still have a very powerful and important role alongside existing currencies.
Ethereum seems to have this reputation of being a community of creative engineering types who like rainbows and cats and mythical creatures. I know you have some fun t-shirts yourself. Is that a fair depiction of the community?
The community is a diverse place, and it has many different kinds of people, and it definitely has its fair share of cat people and dog people and unicorn people as well, and I think that's awesome. And I think it's really healthy to not take yourself too seriously, and that's definitely something that the Ethereum community strives to do. Remember that the world is supposed to be a place to have fun too.
And here are my own opinions as a business strategist. So in my opinion, the DeFi space won't be dominated by Ethereum alone, even though right now it has the biggest ecosystem in this space. The reasons are that when it comes to applications like processing transactions like the Visa network, there are several other more advanced blockchains like Solana, which could do a much better job and handle such a huge number of transactions. Also, distributed ledger technologies like Radix can process transactions at tremendous speeds and can scale without bounds due to its unique consensus algorithm. For your information, Radix is not a blockchain but a distributed ledger technology. In the same way, blockchain is also a distributed ledger technology. Now, when it comes to interoperability and ease of development, I think many blockchains do a much better job and will take a portion of Ethereum's existing ecosystem. Also in future, as the DeFi space expands, these innovative smart contract platforms will be viable options or alternatives for the development of new innovative decentralized applications, and Ethereum won't have an almost empty ground in front of it. So the space is getting crowded, and now with the passage of time, as the time goes by, Ethereum has to fight harder and harder for a piece of the pie that is going to emerge in the future. And as business ecosystems evolve across various industries, some smart contract platforms will see more adoptions in some areas than others, and that will be dictated by several factors such as the stage of their developments, interoperability, flexibility, and the ability of being the right fit for the use cases. So let me know, do you think that Ethereum will dominate the DeFi space and surpass Bitcoin as the largest cryptocurrency by market cap due to its existing network effect and use cases? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found this video valuable, kindly subscribe and hit the notifications bell so that you can get the notifications of upcoming videos on cryptocurrencies, stock market, and personal finance as soon as they are released. I hope that you liked this video. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.